Massive weight loss of 100 pounds or more is possible without surgery, without starvation, and without Ozempic. Let's talk about how to do it. What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel where you get a common sense education on what it takes to get healthy and stay healthy. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the community. My name is Achidi, and I'm both your personal trainer and food educator who is committed to teaching you the most simple and sustainable path to a healthy life. Today's video is going to be extremely helpful for anyone looking to lose 100 pounds or more, and especially any woman looking to lose a massive amount of weight. I'm going to be sharing the story of Haley, I'll put her picture up real quick, who has been capable of losing 110 pounds since 2024, and she's showing just what she did to achieve such results. From her TikTok channel, she shows what she did with her diet, with her exercise, and with her mindset. So she was capable of creating a much healthier lifestyle that didn't require her to starve herself, didn't require any weight loss surgery, and as far as I saw on her page, she's not taking Ozempic or any of those kinds of medication. If you want the most natural path to achieve massive weight loss of 100 pounds or more in a year, this is the video for you. Before I get into everything, I gotta get a couple business items out the way. If you're not subscribed to the channel, let's make today the day you do that. Go on down to the bottom and click that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, and it will keep you up to date with the video content that I'm putting out. And throughout the video, when you hear things that you like and you hear information that's helpful to you, don't be shy about hitting that like button. That will let the algorithm know you want to keep getting more information like this, and it also lets the algorithm know to keep pushing my video out to other individuals who can benefit from it. Now that we've got the business out the way, let's get into Haley's story about who she is and how she was able to achieve such a massive weight loss in a very simple and sustainable way. Here we have Haley at the beginning of her journey. And like many women similar to her, she had just given birth and was currently not happy with how her overall health and body weight was. She wasn't satisfied with the body she was in, and she decided she needed to do something about it. At the beginning, that's how she looked, and currently, this is how she looks. Believe it or not, she started off weighing around 250 pounds. And according to her, she's closer to about 140 pounds now. And that's about 110 pounds that she lost in just 1 year. And as I said earlier, she didn't starve herself. She did not have weight loss surgery, and she did not start taking on weight loss medications. She simply started adjusting her eating, getting more active, and adjusting her mindset so that she could maintain the progress that she made on a near daily basis. So many people make the mistake of trying to achieve the greatest results in the shortest amount of time. So they take on unrealistic starvation style diets, or they go under the knife for weight loss surgery, or they take on weight loss medications without doing the work to create a more balanced eating strategy, or starting to get more active using activities like walking, and they definitely aren't doing any kind of strength training to build muscle. So people who do any one of those three combinations tend to fail, and fail hard. But Haley did it in a way that was not only simple but sustainable for the rest of her life, and I'm going to show you some of the things that she did to adjust her eating, her activity, and her mindset. So let's first talk about the most important things that she did, adjusting her eating. The first step that Haley did was cleaning up her eating. In order to clean up her eating, she didn't fall into the trap of eating so-called health foods that didn't taste good and made her feel miserable. No, she found healthier food options that allowed her to eat foods that tasted pleasurable to her and still kept her on track towards her goals. Let's hear her talk about it in her own words.
If you're on your weight loss journey and you know that you hate broccoli, then why the heck are you eating broccoli if you hate broccoli? Like, that doesn't make sense. This is going to make you so unmotivated because you're not enjoying the weight loss. Like, obviously you're never gonna be like, yay, I love eating healthy, like, unless you're a psycho, but like, normally you're not gonna freaking feel like that. But that being said, you shouldn't be making yourself miserable and choosing to eat foods that you know you don't like. There are so many options out there and so many alternatives that you can find to make losing weight way more enjoyable. If you're looking to find someone who's gonna give you all the answers on weight loss, then like that's impossible, because weight loss is completely different for every single person, because everyone's preferences are completely different. So I can sit here and tell you all the snacks that I loved and that I ate, but if you try them and you don't like them, then don't freaking eat those. Find the snacks that satisfy your cravings and that hit the spot for you, and then those are the ones that you should be eating. Little things like this are going to make losing weight so much easier, so I promise, just find what works for you and do that. So if you don't like broccoli, don't eat the broccoli.
She's absolutely right with all of that. There are so many variations of healthy food that there's no one-size-fits-all healthy food or even healthy eating strategy that will work for everybody out there. We all have different taste buds, and even our taste changes over time. So you don't want to restrict yourself to foods that are labeled as healthy but just don't work for your palate. And that also means to not get discouraged if the initial foods you try that are healthy don't quite work for you. Don't give up. Keep crafting your own menu of healthy food items that taste good to you and that keep you on track. There is no one size fits all. You just have to uphold some certain standards in order to see weight loss. Mainly, you need to create what's called a calorie deficit. That means you're eating less food than what you burn through each day. And in order to create a calorie deficit where you're eating less total calories than what you burn through each day, that doesn't mean starving yourself. It really means adding in more healthy foods and cutting down on the portions of the overindulgent foods. That's it. None of it requires starvation, none of it requires giving up the foods you enjoy, and none of it means you have to force feed yourself broccoli or other foods you don't like. You just simply have to take the time to look at all the healthy food options out there. Give yourself a chance at trying and failing a little bit. Try some foods, see what works, see what doesn't work, and over time you're going to have a lovely menu of various food items that taste good and that are also healthy for you. Now, beyond just picking healthier food items and trying to cut down on your portions of the unhealthy ones, you have to account for the amount of food you're putting into your body with some degree of tracking. Now, don't get put off by the word tracking. I'm going to show you what Haley did when it came to food tracking that kept it simple for her and allowed her to, again, eat the food she enjoyed, but kept her on track to losing over 110 pounds in just 1 year. Let's go on to see how she handles food tracking.
Lost over 100 pounds in less than a year, and I'm telling you, you do not have to freaking track all of your calories. Like, that's so annoying. The reason that I feel like I didn't have to track my calories is because I did fasting, because I feel like fasting was the only like realistic way for me to actually lose weight. If at the start of your weight loss journey you're doing like a complete swap from going to eating whatever you want to having to track every single thing before you eat it, that is so annoying and it's just not realistic. And even though I didn't track my calories, I still tried to measure everything, especially in the beginning, because in the beginning that 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is probably like 3 or 4. And with my fasting, I would just eat once a day. So I knew that in that one meal that I was eating once a day, or the little snacks I was having, I knew that that wasn't as much as like all the calories I was eating before. So I knew I was going to lose weight. So I didn't have to be so strict with counting my calories and inputting every little thing that I ate. I knew that I didn't want to be measuring all my food, because I feel like a lot of the time people measure all their food during their weight loss journey. And then once they're off their weight loss journey, they stop. And then that's why they gain all the weight back. So I feel like just fasting and eating a little bit different and smaller portions makes it way easier to be off of your weight loss journey. So if you know that tracking calories is just not for you and that that's only just gonna discourage you, then don't freaking do it. Like, you can lose weight and not count your calories.
She is absolutely right with all of that. She created a more simple way to keep track of how she was eating through fasting and just keeping tabs on her portions and food choices. She wasn't doing meticulous tracking where she used a scale and a measuring cup and all that stuff, but she still was very much aware of her portions. This is similar to what I advise many of my clients to do, where I tell them, yes, we need to keep track of what we are putting into our body, but we don't need to make it into some big mission or some big undertaking. The simplest form of tracking that many people should do is simply taking pictures of what you're eating before you eat it. This gives you a visual record of what you're putting into your body, and you can visually see the food choices you're making and how much of them you're eating every time. So for someone like Haley, who didn't want to be obsessed with tracking everything that she ate, she simplified her meals down to 1 meal per day. She fasted around that. But within that meal, she was keeping tabs of what the portions of her healthy foods, such as her fruits and vegetables were, her protein was, and then kept track of just how often and how much she would indulge. That was it. She didn't become obsessed with using a food scale and making sure she had everything down to the exact gram, because that becomes a mindset that is a trap for so many people. They become obsessed with making sure that everything fits into a little box, and that doesn't teach them how to eat with more intuition, how to be able to trust their eyes, how to listen to their body, how to adjust their eating based off the signals their body is giving them. If you are always measuring everything and relying on that and not paying attention to any of the other signs that your body is giving you, you're going to be stuck on a hamster wheel of measuring forever. And then when you decide to stop measuring because you don't have the skills to recognize that you are full or that you have consumed too much, you're going to not know how to eat without always being on that food scale. So take it from her, take it from me. Yes, you need to do some form of tracking that is easy and that is not obsessive. You can use pictures, you can use a checklist, but you should have some understanding of what kinds of food you're putting into your body, how often you're putting them into your body, and how they make your body feel. Those kinds of questions are ones you should ask yourself, and those are the kind of questions that allow you to track your food without being obsessed about your food. Let me know any questions that you have below to those suggestions. Do you think that it's too hard to track your food at all, or do you believe that you can do some of these easy, low-hanging fruit versions of food tracking that aren't going to turn you into an obsessive monster about your food? Speaking of obsessing about your food, some people believe that once you're on a weight loss journey, you cannot have anything indulgent, and I'm going to tell you that's some bullshit. You can eat indulgent foods, and I'm not just saying that. Let's have Haley show you that that is possible, because again, she lost over 100 pounds in 1 year, and she definitely enjoys her indulgent foods from time to time and still maintains that weight loss progress. So let's see how she gets it done. She is definitely enjoying the hell out of some crumble cookies. Go on, girl. Let's hear about it.
I lost over 100 pounds in less than a year, and I promise you're not always gonna have to be so freaking strict with your diet. Like, before I just did my 5K run, I was literally eating crumble cookies. And as you keep on in your journey, you're gonna be able to eat some of those fun foods more often, and it's not gonna feel so crazy to you. So if right now you feel like you're really going through it with your healthy diet, like I promised, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and one day you're gonna be able to eat your freaking crumble before you work out if you want to.
This is great that she is being honest about the fact that yes, you can eat fun and indulgent foods while on a weight loss journey. The caveat to this is that you do have to spend time looking at what you are eating and making the necessary adjustments to your food choices and your portions. So you cannot be recklessly eating indulgently, and when you allow yourself to have these fun and indulgent foods at regular intervals on your journey, they stop being held up on a pedestal and you don't have the negative feelings coming through whenever you enjoy them. One of the worst things that clients say around me is, oh, I cheated this weekend, or oh, I ate bad this weekend, when they're just trying to describe how they enjoyed some of their favorite fun and indulgent foods. I always remind them, it's not cheating. You weren't bad. These kinds of words around food are part of the reason why they are unable to control themselves around food. And really, it's just food. Some foods are more fun and indulgent, and other ones are a bit more healthy. And when you have more healthy foods, and you have a moderate amount of the fun and indulgent ones, you stay on track for your goals, and you still get to enjoy the fun foods in life. It's all about creating moderation instead of starvation and restriction. She's enjoying these foods, she's still getting her exercise in, and she's obviously still maintaining her weight loss. She was capable of doing it because she didn't restrict herself. She didn't create these rules where certain foods are bad or cheats or whatever. She just calls them fun and indulgent foods because that's what they are. And you are allowed to have fun and indulgent foods. In fact, if you never have them, at some point those cravings are going to punch the hell out of you and you are going to be unable to stop yourself. And that's why having little bits of these indulgent and fun foods is important, because it doesn't place them on a pedestal where you believe you can never have them. It puts them back at ground level where they belong, and you can have them in moderation, but you have more healthier food options available, because those are what are going to help you feel your best and not keep you eating unhealthy. Now, all of this eating is the main component as to why she was able to lose the amount of weight she did and keep it off. But she also has adjusted her activity through her cardio and strength training. So let's see how she handles both of those.
I lost over 100 pounds in less than a year, and when I first started running, I would literally not even be able to catch my breath. I would be gasping for air. And then right now I just ran a 5K and I feel like I didn't even do a freaking workout. Working out and doing cardio especially is not always going to be so freaking hard. I know in the beginning you literally feel so out of shape and like you can't even breathe, but I promise it's not always going to be like that. Every day that you keep on showing up for yourself, it's just going to get easier and easier, and it's going to get more of like a game, because you're like, you know what, I don't feel as like shit today as I did the day before. And then the more you keep doing it, the less like shit you're going to feel. I've never really been good at running, so when I first started exercising, I was literally only doing 1 mile and I was fighting for my life the entire time. But now I can literally run up to like 6 miles straight and I feel freaking great. During the run, go really freaking slow. Like turn that speed low. Like if you can't hold a conversation when you're running, then you're going too fast. And even increasing the distance or even the speed, like go slow. Like don't think that you're a freaking athlete. Like slow the heck down. Once you start to feel like it's getting easier, then that's when it's time for you to freaking increase it. But don't do it too early, because if you do it too early, then you're gonna be freaking miserable. As you keep going on your fitness journey, I promise eventually you're gonna be your own motivation, and seeing yourself in the mirror and seeing yourself being able to do those runs easier and easier, that's gonna be your motivation, and that's gonna make you want to keep on going and keep on going and keep on going. Like you can do this, just keep on showing up.
She gives the advice that yes, in the beginning, it's going to suck. It was not easy for her. She was barely doing a mile, but she was doing it on a consistent basis. She showed up. She did the best that she could. She kept the speed low and she got through it. And over time, she found that she was able to do it more easily. So she added a little more distance and a little more distance and a little more speed. And now she's capable of running up to 6 miles non-stop. And as I showed in the video before, she sometimes eats a little bit of crumble cookies before these runs to give her some energy. You gotta keep your expectations low. You're not trying to run a marathon. You're not trying to be an athlete. You're just trying to get it done. So the expectation is to just simply show up and move for a small amount of time. It could be for 5 minutes. It could be for 10 minutes. It could be for 15 minutes. It could be for just 1 mile. Give yourself a low-level expectation and then go for it consistently. And second to the low-level expectation is the slow speed. Your progress on your journey is not meant to be at a sprinter's pace. It is a marathon. That means you go slow and steady for a long time. She was giving the advice to keep your pace low enough that you can talk. You want to use what's called the talk test. If you can have a bit of a conversation, kind of like I'm doing right now, where I have to take little pauses to breathe, that's about the highest pace you want to go at. If you can talk and flow like I'm doing right now, that's how you want to start, but you don't need to stay there. You want to push it to a little bit harder like that. She also talked about the fact that you will become your own source of motivation when you show up consistently. You're not going to reach your goal in one workout or even 1 week of working out, but when you do it for several weeks at a time and you keep track of what you did and how you felt, when you look back at that record, you're going to be like, whoa, I'm doing better now. You're going to also start to see the changes in how your clothes fit. You're also going to feel how you're not getting as gassed out and tired as you used to. So again, you have to be observant of all the small wins you encounter along your journey. Are you less tired? Are you walking longer? Are you walking faster? Are you adding an incline? These little wins mean so much more than looking for the big win that you want at the end. You stack these small wins together, and over enough time, they add up to the big win at the end. Your progress is compounded every day you show up. So showing up and doing something is better than avoiding it and doing nothing. You don't need to do it perfectly. You don't need to do the highest intensity. You don't need to do the longest duration. You just need to do something. And you need to do it at a level that is low and slow in the beginning. And as it gets easier, as you acknowledge the wins, as you feel better about yourself, as you feel your body changing, you do a little bit more than you did the last time. But you do not need to force it to happen. You do not need to go too hard, too fast, too soon. You need to allow yourself the time to make this progress happen in a low expectation and at a slow pace. Cardio is something that you can and should do every day in the form of walking. You can do some more intensive programs, but walking needs to happen every day, at least 30 to 60 minutes of it. Accumulate your steps. They've done the research, and 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day is considered the mandatory minimum amount to achieve a healthy heart and lungs and to keep yourself active so you can keep control over your body weight. Keep those numbers in mind. Those are your totals that you should be aiming for on average each and every day. Cardio is one aspect of your fitness that you need to handle. You do also need to do some strength training, and I'm going to go over just some of the basics to strength training while we look at a montage of Haley doing some exercises with weights. Here we have Haley doing some exercises with dumbbells, and I just want to go over some of the basics when it comes to strength training, because yes, you do need to eat well, you also need to move well, and you do need to do some amount of strength training to build and maintain some muscle. Strength training doesn't automatically turn you into a bodybuilder, but it does help you maintain and build more muscle. And when you have adequate muscle on your body is more capable of putting the calories you eat to use rather than storing them as body fat. How often do you need to exercise with weights or doing bodyweight exercises? Only 3 or 4 times a week for at least 30 to 60 minutes each time. It is best to follow a program and not just randomly doing some exercises, but don't delude yourself into thinking that it has to be some hardcore, everyday, no days off, getting intensely sore type of routine. It really just needs to hit some of the big muscles of your body, being your chest and back in your upper body and your legs in your lower body. You can do more detailed programs, but as long as you are hitting the main big muscles of your body, your chest, your back, and your legs, you're working out with weights or your body weight at least 3 or 4 days out of the week, and you're spending at least 30 to 60 minutes each time doing it, that is it. Keep it simple so that you have the ability to add more or take days of recovery, and you're not making it so intensive and so hard that you get overwhelmed. You can do this. If Haley can do it, so can you. It just takes time and keeping it very simple with your approach. Let me know your questions about strength training. It's something that I'm very passionate about, and I want to help you achieve success with the least amount of stress. I'm very proud of seeing the results Haley has gotten. I know she's proud of herself, and these are results that are repeatable for anybody that wants to put in the work and be consistent at it and stay patient within the process. We have now made it to the end of the video, and I appreciate you for sticking around to the very end. Just to recap, losing a massive amount of weight, like 100 pounds or more, is doable, but it is not going to happen instantly, and it doesn't require the most intense game plan to do it. It requires that you be aware of how much food is going into your body with some easy form of tracking. Pictures work great, a checklist is another way, but you need to account for what's going into your body, how it makes your body feel, and the results you're getting from eating in the way that you're eating. And you make small adjustments to the amounts of healthy foods you are eating that taste good to you. You don't need to force yourself to follow anybody else's diet but your own. There are so many healthy food options out there. I know you can find ones that work for your taste buds. And yes, you should eat indulgent foods, just in moderation. Have them at regular intervals. Do not delude yourself into thinking that they are bad or they are cheats or that you should never have them. They just need to happen in small amounts so that you can enjoy some fun and indulgent things at a non-overwhelming amount. You do need to get active. The best way to do it is daily walking. Walk before you eat, walk after you eat, walk during your lunch breaks, walk during the day rather than just trying to do one big long walk. You can do that and you will total at least 8,000 to 10,000 steps in the day, and you will feel better, you will look better, but it doesn't need to be anything big and crazy. Start off with low expectations. Start off moving at a slow pace when you're doing your cardio and gradually increase the distance and the pace as it gets easier. Strength training is something that everybody must do, and no, you won't turn into a bodybuilder just because you pick up some weights. Your muscles need to be pushed. Your muscles are what are going to help you take the calories you eat and put them to use rather than storing them as body fat. So aim for at least 3, no more than 4 strength training workouts. Start off with your body weight and eventually incorporate using some kind of resistance with dumbbells or other forms of resistance. If you have questions on how to get your diet in order, if you have questions with how to get your workouts in order, if you have questions at all how to make any of this work, put them down in the comments and I'll answer them for you. I am here to help you achieve whatever kind of health and fitness goals you have for yourself in the most simple and sustainable way possible. In just a moment, you're going to see another video preview popping up that is going to be more impactful, more helpful fitness information for you to digest, and I hope you give it a watch. I'll see you on the next one.